Welcome to the Drum Social Podcast with Alex Morse and Ben Bell.
Welcome to the Drum Social Podcast. Today's guest, he's the king of improvisation, the man with the magic touch, the Kobe Bryant of drums, Mr. Mark Guiliana.
Yes.
How you doing?
What's up? It's great to see you guys.
You too, man. This is insane.
It's a lot for us. We're quite nervous because we both love you, and that's an awkward thing to say. But I think it's best to air this kind of energy, isn't it?
If that's awkward, then we're not friends.
Okay.
We're friends. We're friends.
We also like to start every interview out by giving the guest a gift, and I have a little gift for you in a bag just there. So Joel, would you mind handing Mr. Guiliana his gift? There's a few things in there.
What have you brought him here?
So you can get the things out the bag, and then I'll try and explain why they're in the bag.
Okay.
And I've got to get this paragraph up to read you.
I don't know what he's got yet.
The gift comes with the paragraph.
Yeah.
Yes. So in the bag, we've got 2 bags of coffee. The reason I got you coffee is because at 21 Drums, 10 years ago this year, we sat with you at breakfast, and I was feeling a lot of pressure because I said I loved you already. Let's leave that there.
We can edit all of this out. Yeah.
There was a moment where you kind of broke down whatever that was by just engaging in a conversation about how much you liked coffee. And you walked off to your room and you came back with a hand coffee grinder and a bag of coffee from a coffee shop. And then we made a cup of coffee and we tried it. And I felt quite comfortable after that for the rest of the week.
Thank you.
I
This
bought
looks
you
good.
the big bag of coffee. And then the coffee shop owner, Joel, shout out to Joel, he gave me this special little bag of coffee.
This looks delightfully suspicious.
Yeah.
Unlabeled and small quantity.
Yeah.
Something's up.
All I can do is I think read this, if you wouldn't mind.
Yeah.
So the coffee is called Romesco. Romesco is not just a coffee. It's an extraordinary discovery. Considered one of the most rarest coffee species on Earth, this exceptional coffee thrives in an environment unlike any other. It's naturally tiny. Quite a nice sentiment, isn't it? Naturally tiny, lentil-sized beans yield only 100 grams of cherry per plant. It's very rare, and apparently the flavour is a bit like Marmite. You either love it or you hate it. Everybody tastes something different. But I thought someone of your calibre might like very rare coffee in their life.
Thank you very much.
So,
Thank you.
as I say to anyone sitting in the pub, get that down, yeah.
Yeah.
The other thing in the bag is it's a bit playful.
Oh, that's where they...
It's
I love this.
a little office basketball net and a couple of b-balls.
Well, I'm about to be in a different hotel room every night for the next 2 weeks.
Okay.
And I will be able to work on my jump
Yeah.
shot.
I mean, I saw the video of you in St. Vincent just hitting threes.
Yeah. This is why I
Incredible.
bought you the basketball net, because as a massive fan of St. Vincent, to see you and St. Vincent come together, it was like watching Pokemon and Dragon Ball Z just make a show together. It was my brain couldn't compute it. And
That's
so
funny.
there you go.
Annie she can hoop.
Yeah.
She can hoop. Yeah, she's the real deal. We were opening for Nick Cave at Barclays Center.
Slow down.
Hang on there, boy.
What are you talking
We were
about?
playing a show in Brooklyn at some place that happened to have a basketball court. Is that a more subtle version? I'm a sports freak, so not Annie's a basketball freak too, but whenever we're in those situations, I'm rarely playing music where people play sports. So for me, I'm like, okay, I'm just going to open every door until I get yelled at, or most of them are locked. It's like, oh, there's the Nets locker room, there's this. And then I look around the corner and the door was open to the practice court. And I was just like, okay, there's a ball, just start shooting. I text Annie, I was like, yo, come hang. And then, yeah, that was like the perfect. We were like bummed to have to go sound check. Basically.
Yeah.
Like, oh, all right.
What's happening in that moment? Are you playing a game of horse?
No, we were just shooting.
Okay.
We were just shooting. We at the beginning of touring years before, we ended up in like a 2-on-2, and she can like throw down, and I felt very conflicted as to like how much to really go in, but it was very fun.
Insane.
Thank you so much for this.
That's fine.
Coffee and basketball, that's
Coffee
it.
and basketball. What more do you
All right,
need?
it's so good to see you guys.
Right, we wanted to start at the very beginning. How did you get into drums? Or basketball. I don't mind what your answer is for either
Basketball
of
was
them.
definitely first. I started playing drums when I was 15. It was kind of out of the blue. My parents always wanted me to be busy. So, and that normally all through my childhood, that meant sports pretty much. So in the US at least, it's like fall, winter, spring. There's like soccer, European football.
Thank you.
Basketball, and then baseball, and each. So okay, that was kind of the thinking. All right, just want you doing something, and then started to, lose interest in some of those things, and then they were like, all right, well, just put, what's it going to be like, taekwondo or this or that? I was like, I don't know, maybe I'll take drum lessons. It was really just pulled out of it. My cousin had drums, and they just looked cool. And then I was very lucky to have an amazing first teacher, Joe Bergamini, who was just the local teacher. So I didn't do any research, or I didn't say, oh, who should I take lessons from? This is the guy you take lessons from. So I do really feel like there's a tremendous amount of luck that he was the first teacher, because I didn't have, or at least I wasn't aware of any passion or interest that I was coming in with. I was totally clean slate. So sometimes I think, wow, because he was 10 years older than me, so he was 25, also quite young, and really had his stuff together and just had great information. The way he presented it was really inspiring. And I think, maybe if I walked in and it was somebody else who just kind of didn't care, was going through the motions, I would have been like, all right, maybe not this. What should I try now? So I think especially as... because you guys teach, right? You all teach, just to varying degrees. Like the first impression, especially, is so fragile, And it's not that you can't down the line improve or form a bond, but there was something. I just trusted him. I had like blind trust right away. So I just did what he asked me to do, and then we kind of grew together. So I was really very lucky.
I think we're lucky as well that he was good, because if you hadn't committed to the instrument, I'd be quite sad.
Be a weird interview, wouldn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
So you're a bricklayer.
Exactly. And I'll say, this was 1995, so I'm, I turn on MTV and it's Nirvana or it's Soundgarden, it's Red Hot Chili Peppers. Like, those guys aren't real. They're not, like, Matt Cameron isn't a real person.
Yeah.
This guy on TV, So I would fantasize, I would have those daydreams of, wow, wouldn't that be cool? But there was I'd be crazy to draw a line from me to him or from me to Chad Smith or something there. So to have Joe as this example of someone building a career in music, driving into the city, playing gigs, teaching, doing all this different stuff, that was really huge. We grew up in the town next to each other, and so that, I think that's huge, to have that example of someone that you can relate to and who's doing it, leading by example.
At what point in your education do you start to go and play gigs and form bands? Did you then go and source any kind of extra education at university? I don't know these things about you, Mark.
Yes.
That's why I've asked you that question.
So that was kind of the beginning of high school. And then I just immediately wanted to put myself in every possible situation I could. So it was marching band and concert band. And if the theater, musical or whatever, I tried to do that. So I formed bands in high school. They were all, we're just hanging out and rehearsing. But it wasn't really until college. I did go to school for music, for jazz studies. I did start, when I was still in high school, I started to study with John Riley, an amazing teacher.
That's insane.
So I would drive up to his house. He was like an hour up north in New York. So I'd drive to his house and then went to school. And that's when I started playing gigs in the city and stuff like that. Yeah.
Do you think back to those lessons with John Riley? You were saying earlier, Soundgarden, they're not real. To me, John Riley's not real.
Right.
Do you think back to that? Like
Yeah,
that's an insane source of information that you could just drive to.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's like the Gandalf of jazz music.
Yeah,
if
yeah,
people
yeah,
don't
yeah.
know who that is.
Well, I was really lucky. There was a camp, 2 camps. I went to William Patterson University, but I went to their camp when I was still in high school, and he was teaching there. So to your point, I ate lunch with him in the cafeteria, and that was. I really think the educational moments are great, of course, but it's the in-between moments that are even more vivid.
Is he holding the knife and fork?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, exactly. No, but it's like, hey, what record, this and that, like just the really more conversational questions, rather than the formal, like, now I'm teaching and you're the student.
Yeah.
It's a little more even. And then I also went to this thing called KOSA, this KOSA drum camp, KOSA. It was the first year. That was up in Vermont, and you stay at like in a college dorm for a week. And that John was there, and that was like Horacio El Negro Hernandez and Terry Bozzio popped in, and Dom Famularo was there, and David Garibaldi was there. So again, it's like sitting and having lunch next to these guys was wild. And I was so green. I didn't know better to even like not just pick their brains. Like maybe it was overbearing, but I didn't know better, But it was great. And again, that environment, like the lines get blurred as to, student teacher, which I think is important.
Yeah. We're going to go to a section now called Marco Solo. I thought that was funny wordplay. So if I say Marco, you could say solo. You don't have to. In fact, let's scrap that.
Confidence.
In 2015, when we went to 21 Drums, I was made aware of Family First from the Mark Juliana Quartet.
Was that out?
I think it came out in 2014, but I hadn't heard it. Is that correct or incorrect?
Maybe 15. Yeah, June 2015. So we were after that. It was out.
Jazz is something that I'd been exposed to, but I thought it'd be cooler if I was a rock boy, which is why I'm wearing a denim jacket.
Yeah.
So jazz, I'd never really tried to engage with, and it hadn't engaged back with me, and maybe that's why I'm a fool. But that album massively engaged with me to the point where I've now gone backwards through jazz and listened to people like Art Blakey that I hadn't done before. You were the key, I think, to that for me. I don't know about you, Alex.
Yeah, the gateway drug was Mark Juliana.
After your education and sitting with all of these great players, when did you sit down and go, I'm going to create something of my own now? Things like the quartet, your solo project, Sound of Listening, and beat music. I mean, there's so much stuff to get through. We might be here all night.
Let's do it. I was very lucky. Right after school, I started to have playing opportunities and touring opportunities. And all of which I'm super grateful. Like, I feel like that's the real, we got to work on what we work on and we practice, but it's like playing music with other people. That's how you figure this life out, and maybe who you are through that. So I did not have any of my own compositional intentions or even ideas in general. I was like happy to be a sideman and just get a call. Yes. Okay. Do this, and just absorbing as many different experiences and opportunities as I could. And then I kind of a blessing and a curse is that I have no one musical situation can satisfy my, can scratch the musical itch, in itself. So I have all these different things I want to say. And when I was younger, sometimes I tried to say them all in one musical situation, and that nobody wants to hear that, So I realized they're best served independently of each other. So a lot of the sideman calls I was getting was in more acoustic world, specifically bass player Avishai Cohen. He was kind of my first touring gig, and I learned so much. That was incredible. But then because that was my first kind of presentation outside of New York, I was the odd meter piano trio guy, and my younger self would get frustrated, like, no, but I like to do this, and I want to play drum and bass, and I play rock, and I realized, like, well, nobody the only way to get that across is to create something and share that. So the first thing was the Hearnt album, which was 2006. And that was on Avishai's label, so that was I was still with him, and that was a fun experiment. But then when I was playing with Avishai, my own music was more electronic because I didn't have a sideman outlet for that.
Yeah.
So I was getting calls for the acoustic stuff, and I was at home just making weird electronic music. And then I started to get some calls for the electronic music, and I didn't have a situation to play the more acoustic stuff. And I started to miss that, and I thought, well, instead of waiting around for someone to ask me to do that, let me create the situation. So that was the quartet, and Family First was the first statement of that, of my own. But, it's really, it is quite intentionally the most used instrumentation. It's like, if I'm going to make this statement, wouldn't it be kind of crazy to make like, oh, saxophone, piano, bass, drums? That's like the most common jazz configuration. I feel like I was getting away with like being a little unique or something by experimenting and be like, oh, you're the guy who puts the chain on the this and the that, which is fun. And it felt authentic, but I thought like, okay, I don't want these material things to be the way that I'm me. So how can I be me in the most traveled path, So that became, even the setup. I was like, okay, I'm going to play this kind of kit that sounds like this, 2 cymbals, Have you ever heard of Ringo Starr? Elvin Jones, everybody, Max Roach. It's like, okay, I spent my younger years trying to go out of my way to be different, even just with a setup. But that's easy. That's a surface.
Yeah.
I don't know if we talked about this back in the day, but there's nothing wrong with that if it's coming from an authentic place. But it's also, you can go downstairs and find some weird bell, and now that's your ride cymbal, and you're the guy that has the weird bell ride cymbal. So you leave here like unique or different, but it's like, how can I look for those things? Who am I in the most traditional settings,
Did you learn anything by doing that with the quartet? Like if you're taking the form of that traditional jazz setting?
So what I learned was that I show up the same person in every situation. Every time I sit down, I'm hopefully bringing everything I have access to, and I only use what's appropriate. But I don't want to leave stuff at home because I think I can't use it. Because I realized even in that jazz setting, I could play all the square pusher stuff that I actually can't play. I'm just failing at it, but it ends up in a nice place. But because what I learned was that, in my opinion, I think sound is actually more influential than vocabulary. And I don't know if this is a controversial take on the podcast, but
take us there.
I think vocabulary is super important and the best way to get inside of a music. But to me, it's like if I think the sound does more of the talking. So if you were to play some square pusher stuff on Max Roach's kit on the cymbal and the snare drum, it's like, to me, that's more jazz leaning than it is drum and bass. Yeah. And then if you sat down on Square Pusher's kit, if that's a thing, or just, and you play some Max Roach language, it's going to be more Square Pusher-y, I think. The presentation is doing so much of the talking, so I was coming at it from a vocabulary place. It's like, okay, for this music, I can't play this, I can only play this. And then, and vice versa. But it's like you can kind of play anything if it's filtered through the right, or an appropriate, which is very subjective, but the sound and feeling.
You talked about these projects in terms of you as a drummer. Can we quickly talk about your new project, Questions, which is nominated for a Grammy?
No, it's...
Can you help me? Have I made a mistake?
My last record was. We can talk about that one.
Can we talk about the Grammy outfit as well. That you wore. You were in the GQ magazine for it as well.
You're in GQ.
He was in GQ.
Oh my God.
Anyway.
We know what the G stands for.
Geek Quarterly.
Juliana, questions.
Yeah. There you go.
There you go.
No,
Come on.
this one is, you just do this thing. You say, hey, it's up. Everyone just posts that it's in the running.
Yeah.
Right.
But no, this record, there are no drums on this latest album.
That's what I thought was really interesting. What's the intention of this?
To try to never get asked to do a drum show again. And here I am.
But here you are.
No. With this latest album, it's like I feel like the way I felt about the drums when I was 19 and all I wanted to do was play drums is how I feel about composition now. It's like that's my latest drug, other than these really rare beans from South Africa.
Yes.
And I feel like when I find a moment, I'm usually at the piano or some mode of composition. But that's the luxury of having different projects. Like the quartet, it's a working band. Beat music is a working project. So these projects always need feeding. So I always want to have new music at the ready. And this Questions album, I made a record called Mark that was solo, and it was kind of half drum things and half, kind of ballads. And that was fulfilling, but I really wanted to see how far I could go with that. So that was kind of the Questions album of no drums, and I'm really just hacking some, piano playing and this and that. But to me, it's my favorite thing I've made, actually.
Yeah.
And I'd like to believe it's the most reflective of who I am, at least today,
I was listening to this in traffic. Mm-hmm. I might be wrong, but I think the track is called Where Did You Go?
Uh-huh.
I was having all these weird flashbacks listening to it of being a kid. What are you thinking about when you're writing these songs? Is the question to you? Is it to the listener? Is it just fun?
Yeah, these questions, in general, I feel like my evolution or de-evolution, however you want to look at it, it's like...
the gradual slice.
I feel like I just used to hold on for dear life to answers. It was like, I feel like most people were just constantly telling people what our answers are, and answers inevitably, you could find your people that way, but also it causes massive division, So, and I feel like an answer is the end of a transaction. It's you ask a question and then you answer. It's like, okay, and fine. But to me, I've been trying to focus more on questions.
Yeah.
And the idea of continue to ask the right questions or good questions and focus less on the answers and allow for the answers to move a bit. So if you hold on tight to your answers, it's almost like a little bit of a prison, So it's like if you keep asking the same good questions or similar questions, I just think it's like there's a little levity, and you don't know who you're going to be tomorrow, And I think it's important to have continuity, It's okay to have the same answer each time, but to keep asking the question and allow yourself to maybe have a little different, view of things. And the question is unifying. I feel like if we all ask the same questions and then if we focus less on the answers are what sends people in all different directions, which is okay. But I just feel like more than ever, we're just so in a rush to figure out how we're different, So it's like, if we can look for ways that we can come together,
That was beautiful.
I'm so glad you didn't go, it's just for fun.
Yeah.
I just did it because it was fun.
I'll say I didn't have the questions as I was writing them. I mean, all the music lives in a similar mood, for sure. But those questions I've just been kicking around, and then some felt more specific to others. Yeah, more specific than others.
It's so good.
At what point does the kind of, I suppose, confidence where you're just like, I'm just going to do this on my own? Like we saw you recently at Jazz Cafe in London, and there's just 2 kits, and it's just you doing whatever you want. How do you approach that?
Yeah, there has to be a little bit of psychosis, I think. Of both these the Questions album I knew I had to make really quickly, because if I got the longer it went on, I would start to question it. I would start to second guess myself and be like, oh my God, I can't put this out. What? This is career suicide. You know what I mean? So similarly with the solo show, in a weak moment, I'm like, this is the worst idea ever.
It's so good though. Like you come out and it's like baseball just being like
Right,
on the screen. You're like, I'm going to walk past the kit and just go on the piano.
Yeah,
And it's like, what? But
No, I appreciate that. I'm very proud of it. For me, just the fact that it exists as a show is the win. Like, not to set the bar too low, but like, you know, that was a part of going around Europe for a couple weeks. And if you were to like, hey, how was the show at Jazz Cafe? I'd be like, it happened. Like, the fact that it happened was the win.
Yeah.
Because really the last thing on my mind is I have no memory. I have big picture memories of that night because that's as far as my intention will go. Like, I know the shape. Okay, I want to start here. I kind of have the map, but I don't have any, I could care less the specific stuff that, oh, this came out, this didn't. It's like, if I'm thinking like that, I'm fucked.
I can't believe you can like unlock that side of it though, and then also play your solo stuff, like tracks like 1 month where it is all just locked in and you have to know every beat, every bar. I don't know how you go between the two marks in that situation.
Yeah, I would say it's all about the intention, and they're actually identical. Like, if you zoom out enough, and if it's more about a question than an answer, like, what's the question? It's like, okay, what is the compositional intention? I want, and it's not just what I'm playing in 1 month. It's like, it's the fact that it's with the bass. Like, I want the feeling, the listener to experience it. Wait, how is this unison? Like, it can't be improvised. It's got to, but it's long enough where you can't maybe not really hear where it resets.
Yeah.
So it creates a little disorientation in the listener, but that's very intentional.
Yeah, you taught us that at 21
Okay,
Drums.
cool.
There was a moment 7 pints in at like 1 a.m. where we're in a room playing it. And then you just knock at the window. It's just your cheeky little face watching us play it. And I was like,
nice.
I feel so sick right now.
Yeah.
Because it would move around, wouldn't it? It was like a nomadic beat that someone hadn't heard it, and then the next 2 days you'd hear them going.
That's funny. But yeah, it's the
yeah.
same thing. Like, it's the same intention of like, I'm gonna walk on this stage with no plan, but it's not because I forgot to have a plan. Like, that's the plan. So the intention of a completely improvised moment is identical to a completely composed moment. So the answers are very different. And again, if I'm focusing on the answers, that's like, well, who am I today? Where do I go from here? It's like, but if the question and the intention is like, what do you wish? What energy do you wish to create in the room, and how will you get there? That kind of thing, you know.
I loved it.
So wise.
As a fan of St. Vincent, can we quickly talk about you joining St. Vincent?
This was like early 2021, so still pretty heavy, like quarantine COVID vibes. And she had a new record coming out, and she needed to put a band together. So the musical director is Justin Meldal Johnson, an amazing bass player, who I was a fan of he's been in Beck's bands since the mid 90s, you know. Did a stint with 9 Inch Nails. He's produced a ton of records. Yeah. So, I mean, the longest possible, a full podcast of his resume is in order. But we were friends, and we were always looking for a way to play together. He hit me. He put the band together. So that was really exciting, and we rehearsed a couple tunes, and the first thing we did was Saturday Night Live. It was April 2021. Like, the first public notes we played together was on TV. It was wild. And yeah, really, but still it had a whole other layer of the time too. It's like you have to test to get in the building, and then there was an anxiety around it that was like strange, you know. But it was great. And then so for the last 4 years we did a couple years on that record. And then she quickly made another, and then we were back out for the last year plus, 2 years.
It's an amazing fit. We did a solo at Somerset House. Was there as well.
Oh, Somerset House, you were?
I was there.
Oh, that was fun.
I just wanted to say that. It's not even a question. See you later. Goodbye.
Thank you.
Yeah, it was great.
Well, I feel really lucky. That's my first situation like that, of just to play on those stages for those amounts of people. And I admittedly assumed that either I wouldn't have those opportunities. My music isn't going to bring me to Saturday Night Live. And every now and then I daydream, wouldn't this be cool to have these kinds of experiences? But admittedly, I assumed it would be not a fulfilling musical situation, Be like, well, maybe, I don't know, I just jump on something kind of silly, but I get to have a cool experience. So to get to have those experiences and still be really genuinely musically fulfilled, great band, inspired every night, I feel super lucky. And that first tour, there was no click, no tracks, no nothing. It was just a band on stage playing songs. So I had a little iPad with a metronome, just a visual metronome for a reference, and I would count off, and then we're in. And I stopped looking after a couple weeks because, what's the difference? So even that, I also assumed any situation in that world would come with a whole slew of production that potentially chips away at the uniqueness of the performance or even the connection on stage, things like that. So again, very lucky that was my way into that world. And then just to get to share the stage with so many different people that I certainly assumed I wouldn't get to. We were talking about the Foo Fighters before. Annie and the Foo Fighters have the same management, and same with Beck and all these. So you're just surrounded, you're just dropped into this circle. You look over side stage and you're like, whoa, all right. Okay, no, just don't change a thing. Yeah. But no, really, and especially I think in some ways, again, that was kind of the first time I presented myself in that way, or I musically was presenting myself in that way. And it might be in contrast to my own music, but it's actually where I come from. It's actually in some ways the most me, at least from the beginning.
Okay, so what was it like meeting Taylor Hawkins? Must have been insane.
It was insane. I was very lucky to meet him a few times over the years. The first time, or the second time, first time we really met, remember when on the Seth Meyers show on TV, they would have a lot of different drummers sit in. I was doing that, and Seth Meyers' studio was on the same floor as Saturday Night Live, and the Foo Fighters were in that week. This was 2015 or something, 16. And I walked down the hall to peek into the rehearsal, and then my friend introduced me to Taylor as the guy who played on Black Star and all this stuff. And then he just, for 20 minutes straight, just asking me questions nonstop about the Bowie experience, which was so sweet because I realized a lot of almost those guys, that generation, Bowie was their guy.
Yeah.
They're, 15, 20 years younger than him.
He's freaking out at you, but you're freaking out at him.
But
you're
to me, same thing when I met Matt Cameron. He just wanted to talk about Bowie. Those guys are, to me, the age gap is similar on the. So it was really sweet, but I was like, this isn't how this is supposed to go. I'm the one with the questions. It's just that 30 Rock building is a really old building, and there's just one men's room on the floor, just old bathroom. So randomly I find myself in the bathroom, and it's me and Taylor, and there was this old scale in there that you find at a doctor's office that you move the little stone over and you get, and just, I don't know why, but completely out of the blue, I was like, $20, I could guess how much you weigh. Right? We're washing our hands. And it was just some nervous energy line, he's like, $20? I'm like, yeah. So he gets on, and I forget it was 154 or something, but 154. And I was right. It was it was this moment. He's like, he looked at me like I was spooked. And then he's like, oh man, I don't have any cash on me. And he goes outside, and someone from the team or something. Can I borrow $20?
Member.
Yeah. But yeah, so I got $20 off them, so that was a good experience.
Fantastic.
But then, yeah, with St. Vincent, and we got to play opposite them, and actually
It's kicking off in there.
actually hang a bit and connect more. So, special guy.
So earlier you spoke about the importance of sound for you. How do you go about choosing your drum gear? Like, what is the Mark Guiliana quality test? If it's got to do all these genres, all these things, how do you go about that?
Yeah, I think I'm definitely using different instruments for different situations. Obviously, you want, hopefully, if you have access to different instruments, you want to try to, let the instrument do as much of the work for you as it can. So, in the jazz world, it's smaller drums tuned higher. But it's really a lot of that. It's almost like I rely a lot on the physical sensation of playing, and particularly rebound or lack thereof. Also with cymbals, like, this is impossible to do, but in my mind, I feel like if we could like mute the instrument, if you could not hear it at all, I feel like I could get close to the tuning just the way the stick responds or doesn't, so like the beat music
So
floor
good.
tom, I know that thing needs to go doom.
Yeah.
So like, and I know it's like an ingrained physical memory and sensation that I'm wishing for that creates that sound. So it's like, for example, I had us set up the drums that are here today. Technically, I've never played these drums before, but I asked for certain sizes with certain, coated ambassador heads. I know I'm going to get close, but I'm also very to maybe my drums at home. But I'm also happy to meet the instrument in the middle too. I feel like I used to be much more insistent about like, this is the sound I need, and I'm like, dominating the instrument, like, give me that sound. It's like, where do you want to be?
Yeah.
This is, and certain drums, I might put it where I normally put it. I'm like, this drum isn't happy up here, whether the head's kind of fucked up or it's new or old or something's, it's like, where do you want to be? It's like, I'll be more inspired if you're happy,
Yeah.
so if the tuning's a little lower or a little higher than I'm used to, but the drums are just like ringing in a way I'm happy to go with that, and cymbals too. I really rely on like the sensation of the stick on the cymbal. Of course, there's certain sounds I wish for, but I think that gets talked about less because it's difficult to talk about, but it's almost like it's not this immediate return of the stick. It's almost like it just goes in a little bit before it comes back to you,
How was that recent move to Istanbul cymbals? 'Cause I remember when that happened, it felt like a sports, football, soccer transfer.
Yeah.
Of being like, oh my God, he switched teams. What's going on?
Yeah,
But
yeah.
how was that for you?
Yeah, it was great. I mean, those cymbals off the shelf are the most comfortable for sure. I brought cymbals with me, but I know if there was just stuff here, I would be completely stress-free to play cymbals that I had never met before, I think all the companies make cool stuff, and I think you can find what you need wherever you go. It might take more digging in other places, whereas for me with AGOP, it's just like, oh, whoa, okay, there it is. Yeah, just a nice small team. I'll admit, I don't want to get too into the weeds, but it's like, I just want to play music. There are elements of the business that are important that I don't want to dismiss. I couldn't be here without the help of Gretsch or AGOP or this and that, because they're really putting it together for me to be here. But at the same time, like, I don't want to come at this from the business angle. And I feel like those two companies in particular, it feels more art forward. And it's like music first, and from my perspective,
Yeah.
so that feels really comfortable. Yeah.
Yeah. I've never heard somebody reference how the drum wants to sound?
Yeah, and
Yeah,
the meeting a symbol. I was like, oh,
Yeah.
genius.
Yeah, now I feel like I need to go and introduce myself to
Yeah,
equipment
it's a
I've
relationship.
had for a long
Yeah.
time.
Ask the instrument what it wants.
Yeah.
Questions again.
You know?
Oh, questions. I've got a question for you, Mark.
Yeah.
Would you like to play a game?
Yes.
You've guessed it right. It's baseball themed. It's called Home Run Heroes.
Okay.
There will be a jingle.
Guiliana stepping up to the plate here. He's only been playing for 1 month. There's a lot of questions. Here he goes. And that is out of here. I mean, that is going, gone. Home run for Guiliana. I'm the baseball from the game, flying through space still towards the sun. I'm the baseball from the game. Please say I miss you to my baseball mom. I miss the hot dogs and the people cheering as I flew through the sky. I guess I was the wrong baseball, colliding with the right bat in the hands of the right guy. I can see Mars, Major Tom.
Right, you are both at home base. I'm going to be pitching questions, at you. And for every correct answer, you'll move to the next base, first, second, third, and back to the home plate. First person to score a home run wins.
Wow. Oh, it's
Okay, yeah, it's me.
1v1?
Wow. Wow.
Nervous.
Are you
Right.
happy with that? Do you consent?
Yeah, go for it.
You're going to need to buzz in.
Oh, it's the same question.
Same question, you'll buzz
Oh,
in.
okay.
How do we buzz?
Well, here we go. You'll need to pick your favourite Major League Baseball team. I assume you'll be the Blue Jays,
Yeah, I'll go Blue Jays.
Dodgers.
Dodgers.
LA Dodgers. Let's do it.
Fantastic. There's 4 questions, so a
Okay.
question a base. And each question is based off of a team, and then we'll see what happens.
Do you know baseball?
No. I am in serious trouble right here.
There's barely any baseball in
I
this
hope
game.
I do. Oh, okay. Got it.
There's no logic to it. I mean,
Got
you're slightly screwed with question number 1, Alex. Are you ready? This is the Boston Red Sox question. Tony Williams grew up in Boston, Massachusetts. But how do you spell Massachusetts?
Oh, I'm dyslexic as well, so this is
I'll
absolutely
give it a
fucked me.
go. Dodgers. MASSA.
Yes. Yes.
CHUSETTS.
Perfect.
Oh, fair play. Come on.
Not a single step wrong there.
You know that used to be a part of your country, so maybe you should know that.
I'm so
actually.
sorry.
Yeah, Alex. So you're at first base.
Okay.
That's
good.
kissing, right?
Good.
Yeah. Cheeky boy.
Okay. I only realised right now that you might not. No, it'll be fine. Question 2.
You only have 4 questions.
It's because I never do well in these.
Look. Look. We're talking to the improvisational king. I can
we got
improvise.
it. We got it.
Okay. The second question is LA Dodgers themed,
Okay.
which is your chosen team for the game. Along with his bandmates, Anthony and Flea, Chad Smith is an avid Dodgers fan. But who played the cheeky protagonist, Peter LaFleur, in 2004's Dodgeball, a true underdog story?
Dodgers. Protagonist.
Yeah.
Well, we got Vince Vaughn and Ben Stiller in Dodgeball.
well, yes, you got it right with Vince Vaughn.
yeah.
Peter LaFleur.
I
There we
wouldn't
go.
have gotten Peter LaFleur, but yes, Vince Vaughn.
Well, you
got
smashed
Got
it.
it. Okay, good.
So you're at second base. What's that? Hugging? I don't think we should go into what the base is.
No.
Okay, let's keep it not blue. Right. Question
Jays.
3. Oh, this one is a closest to, so no need to buzz in.
Okay.
So you're both given
Oh, I
answer,
like this.
whoever's
Yeah,
closest
this
to
is
the
good.
right answer. This is the Detroit Tigers question. Another one of your heroes. Elvin Jones was born 26 miles from Detroit in Pontiac, Michigan. But how many miles from Detroit is Tiger Kingdom, Phuket, Thailand?
Oh my God. Wait, say it. From Detroit to where?
Tiger Kingdom, Phuket, Thailand. So essentially, America to Thailand.
Okay.
How many miles roughly?
Um.
Closest to gets the point. You stand a chance of getting
Well,
to third
are you
base
going east?
here. I had to
I'm
go.
in trouble.
I had to just go as the crow flies because Google Maps was like, I don't understand what you want me to do.
But you go across Europe.
just straight across the
You
map
don't go
in a
the
straight
other way.
line.
You don't go the other way.
A little stop in Brussels.
What way did I go? I went across.
You're across the
Europe.
Atlantic.
Yeah,
Okay, so that would be in miles.
in miles, if closest to. So you both need to guess.
Yeah, I'm gonna say
Can you see how it's not really baseball themed?
35.
Now we're in it.
I saw it immediately.
This is about as much baseball as we're gonna get.
I'm gonna say 9750.
Wow.
Okay, 9,750. Alex, would you like to take a guess?
85,000?
How many?
85,000?
85,000.
Yeah.
85,000.
I was
I'm
going
just
shorter than
confirming.
your answer.
85,000 miles. Is
What
it
was
yes?
your one?
What did I say?
You were
9,750.
9,750. And you want to go 85,000.
Just add an extra O onto my one.
Yeah.
No, we're locking it in. What is he, Leica? Going around the orbit of the Earth?
You didn't say when the plane got off.
Mars.
Right, okay.
on
Right,
Jupiter.
we're locking it in, right?
Yeah, lock it in.
So Alex has gone for 850,000 miles.
He's already started walking.
And Mr. Guiliana has gone for 9,750 miles. It is roughly 8,300 miles.
Okay.
So luckily enough, you are closest.
And luckily enough, yeah. Anyway,
I'm holding the bat
Okay,
the wrong way
83?
round. I don't know what game
83.
I'm playing.
Good. All right.
It was bad, and then it just got so much worse. Okay, so you're at third base.
Yeah, go down swinging.
You are one away from home base.
Like
Mark.
I'm going to catch him.
And I hope you've noticed that in each question, I've tried to put what I believe to be one of your musical heroes. in
I
there,
appreciate that.
You know,
Yes.
so just to shout back to question one: Tony Williams, Elvin Jones, Chad Smith.
Yeah.
Okay, question 4 could be the last question of the game. Let's hope it is, because it's the last question on the sheet. This is the Washington Nationals question. Nirvana formed in Aberdeen, Washington, but when was Washington formed? The nearest year will win.
I don't want to be that guy, but just for clarity's sake, technically the Washington Nationals are Washington, D.C.
Yeah.
So, but we could call this the Seattle Mariners question because Seattle and Washington.
He saved it.
Okay.
Yeah, we're just going to embrace the fact that I'm not from round there.
No, but you have an Aaron Judge.
I'm from where Square Pusher's from.
All right. Yeah. And you win.
Yeah. Oh, you got more points
All
than
right.
me?
Do you guys know Adam Betts?
Yeah.
Big time.
Adam was in LA a couple weeks ago with Pulp, and I went and hung. And I remember I saw Adam, who's just so insane. I saw him with Show Leader One, the live Square Pusher band
Right.
in New York. And it was right around the time my book had come out, and I wanted to give Adam a copy. And then I told him, I was like, this is kind of cheesy, but like, I had a thank you page of like drummers that influenced me. And like Tom Jenkinson was like the fourth name. It was like Tony Williams, Carlton Barrett, Elvin Jones, Tom Jenkinson. And I was like, oh, I just showed it to him. And then later that night, he's like, man, Tom was like so honored. Like I showed him the thank you. I was so embarrassed. But I was like, okay, cool. Yeah.
I mean, shout out Adam.
really?
Colossal Squid.
Amazing.
Incredible. It's a
Powerful album.
What year was the state of Washington founded?
Yeah, essentially. Forget about the bit where I got the entirely wrong team.
I have no
It's
idea.
not 850,000.
Okay. What is America?
You're having flashbacks to history class as a boy.
1860.
Okay,
No idea.
1830?
Alex has got that. He's taken it at the end. You've made it to first base.
What was it?
1790.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
Anyway.
The setup
well
of the
done.
question was wrong. The answer could be wrong. So
All right,
you're at first
What's
base.
the tiebreaker?
The
Come on.
tiebreaker now. Let's
Get
hope
this
that you
over
get
with.
this right so that the game's over. But let's assume you've won anyway.
Yeah, okay.
Along with Square Pusher, me and Will were from Chelmsford. But which American state is Chelmsford in America?
Oh, is there one?
There's a Chelmsford, America, yeah. Chelmsford, USA.
I don't think I even know my states properly.
I have no idea, but I will guess. Can I pick 3 to choose from?
Yes, you can pick
Yeah,
3.
go for
Do
it.
you know 3?
No, I don't
Okay.
know one.
I mean, my assumption would be Massachusetts, New Hampshire, Connecticut.
Is Orlando a state? Florida? Is Florida a state?
Florida.
Yes. Florida.
Massachusetts is the correct answer.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
You've won.
Yeah.
You've won. There you go. So
Thank God.
But you know what? Hey, check this out.
Yes.
If we're both running the bases, that means we're on the same team.
Ah,
So we
I'm
both
not a
won.
loser.
We both won. We both won.
Well, you can both have then a bag of Haribo Tangfastics. Can you eat sweets?
Sure.
Would you like some sweets?
Sure.
I'm going
Let's
to throw.
test that throw.
Ready?
This is great for jet
This is
lag.
underarm.
Yeah. Thank you.
Very
There you
nice.
go. Okay, that's the end of the game.
Final thing to do, and then you can finally go home. The Drum Social playlist, which you've already been a part of before
Oh,
because
yeah,
you sent in the
have.
songs for Colton Barrett. If you could pick 3 songs, they can be songs that you've played on, just songs that inspire you. You're in the driving seat.
Okay, let's say it has to be people we talked about. We've talked about
Massachusetts.
your neighbor, Tom. I'm going to say the Square Pusher theme from Feed Me Weird Things, first track of Feed Me Weird Things. Totally changed my life when I heard that. And sidebar, to hear Adam Betts play that was really equally life-changing. Square Pusher theme, okay. And then let's go. I already gave you Carlton Barrett. Elvin Jones, I'll say there's a track called The Drum Thing from an album, John Coltrane album called Crescent. It's pretty self-explanatory.
Yeah.
We were talking about Soundgarden. We were talking about Matt Cameron. They're about to be inducted in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Ugh.
If that's meaningful. I can't tell if it is.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
deserve to be,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, big cheese.
Let's go with Outshine. Soundgarden Outshined.
Fantastic.
Amazing.
And I'll say my son's 11 now, but when he was like 6 or 7, like maybe all kids do this, but he would just get stuck on a song and it would just be on repeat. And normally it would be a song that you might not want to hear on repeat. But there
Baby
was
Shark.
yeah,
over and
yeah,
over
exactly.
again.
But there was a few months where it was Outshined on repeat, to and from school, nonstop, and I was like, "This, I can sign up for this." And I told Matt, and he was like, "Man, I wish my kids had good taste." Yeah. But yeah, so we got Square Pusher, John Coltrane, and Soundgarden.
Yeah,
That's
you did. Yeah,
Fantastic.
You did it. But
I want three people I would love to hang out with.
you're stuck
know.
with us.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. No, I mean later.
There you
later.
go.
This is great.
But yeah, thanks so much for doing this. Obviously, if the audio is a bit weird at points, there's just lads smashing drums.
We're at the UK Drum Show while we record this. A shout out to Neil for giving us the space to do this, and thank you, Mark.
Thank you for having me. Wouldn't it be fair to say that we've never been together where there were not just drums being smashed at all times?
Great
Yeah.
point.
So this is appropriate, I think.